Alright guys, it's your boy, it's Joke, and today we're going to talk about the latest chapter in Adachi to Shimamura. Now, major spoilers if you are caught up on the latest chapter, which literally dropped 20 hours ago. And also, if you've only watched the anime, then you're definitely not at this point yet, for sure. And so, yeah, just major spoilers if you don't want to, like, this is actually major spoilers. This shit go crazy. I just want to talk about it because, man, oh man, was I not expecting this at all. Like, literally, it was in the morning, and I was just like, I just searched to see what got updated, like which manga I was reading, what got updated, and this was there, and I'm like, I always liked reading this, but man, I was not expecting this. So yeah, so major spoilers. If you haven't read it, if you have, I'll leave a link in the description for it. But if you don't care about spoilers or anything like that, then let's go ahead and continue. But this is major spoilers. So after chapter 27, this is basically Shimamura is with her friend, and she goes to the festival, and Adachi happens to see her because Adachi is working at what's it called, the karage stand, which is like fried chicken or something like that. And so she sees her with her friend, and let's just get into it because there's 25 pages. We're gonna go ahead and skip all. So yeah, as you can literally, it says right here, yeah, Adachi sees her with her, and she sees that using her first name and everything, and she kind of just like falls into like look at this. Well, we're just gonna skip through all of this, but yeah. So basically, Adachi's Adachi, she's like hung up on her. So every little thing that goes wrong, she gets into her depression phase and shit. So she accidentally calls her, but decides to go through with it. And she's just, Shimamura's just chilling, literally nothing going on. She's eating her popsicle, or either a piece of watermelon or watermelon popsicle. But right here, like, I'm reading all this, right? And she decides to actually tell her about, like, she saw her with the girl, right? And I was like, oh shit, she actually decided, because it's like she really, I'll take a step past the point of no return. Yeah, she definitely mentioned it, and that's kind of, from her perspective, it's like, oh, she did nothing wrong, she just with her friend, and her other friend saw her. He's like, yeah, it's fine, and in fact, she's like, oh, I should have invited you, but she's like, no, I was managing to stop from my job, right? So, right, and she's like, oh, I see, yeah, whatever, right? Like, what do you mean, huh? And then right here, I was not expecting this. She completely breaks down, like, she goes crazy. Look at this. She goes completely crazy, and even she's like, wait, and she's like having a complete fucking mental breakdown. Oh my god, like, I was reading this and I was like, holy shit, she just like broke, and it's like starts spewing every single thing that she's held in, and it's like, oh man, like, she's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I like Adachi, but she's crazy. Even I gotta admit it, but she's crazy. Like, she really is, like, this isn't even just like into a girl. She's like, I would even, like, this could be Andre territory, to be honest with you. I really think this could be Andre territory. She really is on that level. But then, oh my, Shimamura is a fucking demon, bro. You just keep going on, so I just said it. Huh? And then she just hung up on her, and she fucking throws up because it's over, bro. It's up. But holy, yeah, Adachi, you are absolutely insanely crazy. I'm not gonna lie, bro. You're absolutely insanely crazy. You, like, yeah, she blew up on her and like released everything that she'd been holding in. Everything, like, if you read all of this, it's actually crazy. Like, it's like, do you hate me just like my mom hates me, etc. Just keeps going on and on. It's like, who's that girl? She really did break down. It's like a complete mental breakdown. And it's like, this isn't even just being jealous. Like, you're crazy. Like, this is actually crazy. But Shimamura's kind of mean, bro. Like, imagine having your friend like completely break down like that, and you're just like, it's just a pain, and then hang up on her. Like, bruh, that shit was, man, I want to talk about it just because I actually do think this is crazy. It's one of the things that, like, I just haven't seen this in anime, or really in, like, I'm trying to recall like a manga that did something similar to this, but nothing's going on, and this is the part that worries me just a little bit, because the writing for this is actually really good as a manga. This is absolutely are really good. Like it has an 8.59 rating. It's really good. Um, like I said, the writing is really really good because this is indeed romance. It's Yuri, so just in general, but even like amongst other romance, you don't really see like I don't know. I feel like this level of writing is so good because her response, Shimamura, this girl right here on the left, then the right, then the left again. What's it called? Is actually completely like what I expected. Like it's harsh as fuck, but like if you just read throughout the story, there's literally like there's no other way for her to really respond. Like that's just how she is. Like she's actually, man, it's crazy. And Adachi just like reached that breaking point. It's crazy. But I will say this. The part that has me worried is how is the writer gonna go from what we just read? How's the writer gonna go from a page? Let's just skip to 23. How is the writer gonna go from this type of thing happening, right, to a romance ending? Or is it even gonna go in that direction? I don't know. Like I would like it to be like, you know, a happy ending for them, but how is the author gonna go from a character having a complete mental breakdown and this being the response from the girl she's into to an actual romance, you know, like that? And that's where I think it's gonna be difficult because when you pull something like this, when you have something like this happen, I feel like it hits very hard, I think. And but it's like getting it to work is crazy. Like I'm a firm believer of you can do anything with the story, and as long as it's well written, you can pull it off. Some things like if for whatever reason you have a slice of life anime, and out of nowhere aliens come out and it turns into like a serious like taking over the world. As long as it's well written, I think you can pull it off. I really do. Except the crazier something is like the more difficult it is to pull it off. You know, it requires some very like a lot of skillful writing, in my opinion. And you can't use any real cheap tactics, otherwise it comes off feeling cheap. And so the fact that, you know, this usually doesn't happen. Like I'm struggling to think of a manga or anime that I've seen or read that has this type of like complete breakdown of a character in like somewhat of a, because this is kind of like a confession. She's literally just telling her to think only of me and be only with her and that she only needs her in her life. It's crazy. And for something like this to have like, man, she's mean, bro. She's mean. But what's it called? Yeah. So I'm very curious to see how the author. Hold on, where does it say? By it's two people. I think one of them writes it, and the other one is the creator. Because I think the source material is a light novel, I believe. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how it goes from here because a lot of animes and, like I said, mangas that I read, I don't remember doing this. But even if they did, I have a very good feeling that they don't pull it off very well. There's a lot of animes and stuff that do some crazy thing, but the resolution and just the follow-up and everything to get to that point just feels very cheap. It's like all these like cliche type, like they just don't work very, like I can see through it. You know, I can see through what they're trying to do and it comes off feeling very forced. So I'm very curious as to see how this person pulls it off. But like I said, based on the writing of all the other chapters, as you can see, yeah, author, artist. Okay, so the author, the creator is Irumo Hitoma. You know, she created this, and I believe this is just the artist because the original comes from a light novel. This spans like 3 years ago, but the writing in all of these is actually really good. I do like it a lot. I think they did I think, you know, it's very, very good. The way everything is built up, the way all the characters act, I think it's very good. It's a slow burn. That's why if you watch the anime as well, even then in the anime you can tell it's a slow burn because you don't get the typical like romance and like characters falling in love or like noticing their feelings or anything. You don't get that typical like quick like spark of like this is what sparked this person's interest or this romance and everything or made this person fall in love with them. No, it's very, very gradual, and they kind of just like, even then these two characters are so interesting and so like well written. Like they're their own character for sure. Like I'm sure you could put them into like an archetype, like a stereotype. Like I'm sure there's a website or whatever that tells you all the stereotypes and like character types for anime characters and shit, like ice queens and stuff like that. And I'm sure you can find it, but I think this is harder for me to like identify them because it's like put them into a single category just because of, I don't know, I just think it's very well written that the characters themselves have very strong identities. And the way that it kind of like evolves these characters, like her, again, like I said, Adachi is like, it's more focused on Adachi. Well, actually, no. It's kind of like half and half, yeah. So Adachi has more evolution, like as you learn more about her, and it's like it's easier for her to get to the point of breaking down, etc., than it is for Shimamura to like, because Shimamura's action is like essentially almost the same thing as like chapter 1. She is evolving just at a much smaller and slower pace than Adachi. Adachi's like spiraling out of control into that point, and you know it kind of makes sense with the way the whole story's been building up. That's very plausible, and that's why when I read it, it hit so hard. Like when she like flipped out like that, I gotta go back again, don't I? Yeah, you can just do that. When she flips out like this, it's like as soon as I started reading this, I didn't like some. Usually when things like this happen, I think it's like, oh my god, that's so stupid or whatever. Because no animes or mangas really have good build up. Some of them do. I'll say that some of them obviously do, but some of them just have like really poor build up and everything. And so when they have this like kind of scene happen, you know, to me it seems really stupid and it's like, man, it just feels cheap. But with this build up and her character, as soon as I started reading this, as soon as I saw this point right here, where when you get to the Y and she completely has a mental breakdown here, it didn't come off as like this is so stupid. It came out like, what the fuck, this is crazy. I actually felt like it actually hit, and I started reading it, everything, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like, it actually hit. It actually hit, and I didn't feel it was cheap. I didn't feel it was trash. I didn't feel it was stupid. It felt reasonable and very good. And then this response, also fucking, it didn't even come off as edgy or anything. This is just like, this is typical Shimamura behavior. Like, this is like if she had like, you know, somehow connected with Adachi and like been all emotional and stuff, it would feel completely out of character. And that would, in my opinion, feel stupid. It's like, okay, you just completely just changed up, whatever. But she didn't. She's exactly the same. Well, she's pretty much in line with her character so far. Like everything is going so well. So, but because it's so well, I'm very curious as to how this completely changes. Like, how it gets from this point right here to the ending. I'm very curious as to see how it gets into a full on, what's it called? A full on romance. As you can see, adaptation from a light novel. But yeah, I just really want to talk about it because, man, that was a great chapter. I think I'll start doing this more as I start reading other chapters of other mangas and stuff like that. Anything I really feel like gets me to talk, I think I'll probably start doing that. But yeah, so that's the big spoilers for this. I'm curious to see where it goes, and I'm a little worried that, you know, because with such a crazy scene like this happening, I'm very worried that the execution of the follow-up is not going to be very good. But at the same time, the storytelling leads me to believe it's going to be done well. Like, this is going to have a really, like, it's going to be good. Like, just based on everything else, I believe it's going to be good. It's like imagining seeing Steph Curry, right? And he's an amazing shooter. Absolutely, like, his shot's on point. And then he said, you know, I don't know how to explain it. I can't do a good comparison. I really can't. But it's just like, just based on the writing level of everything before, I don't expect the future chapters to be bad. That's what I'm saying. I don't expect them to fail. Just based on all these other chapters, I don't expect the writing quality to decrease out of nowhere, you know? I don't expect it. So I'm very curious and I'm very interested in seeing. I don't have high hopes. You know, like I'm not envisioning, like, there's nothing that I want to happen. I just want to see what happens, you know? If you start hoping for things to go a certain way, you're going to be disappointed if the author takes a different route. And I feel like that blinds people's views from, like, I mean, like, is this good or not? Because if it doesn't happen the way you want it to, you're more inclined to think it's bad rather than you know, so I don't want anything specifically to happen, but I just want the next chapter. I just want the next chapter. So yeah, the first song from this YouTube like music fit this scene very well. So yeah, I probably should have ended this video like 3 or 5 minutes ago, but I did enjoy this. Hopefully the next chapter comes out soon. It's 10 days ago, 27 days, 2 months. It could take a while, but we'll see. Alright, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.